Okay. Sorry. Okay, I think we're live. Hello, hello. One moment. Just a moment. Good morning. I'm starting stream earlier today because I have errands in the afternoon, so just give time. I'll just check everything's okay on YouTube's end. I think it takes a moment for it to register as being live. Okay. Let's see. Go to my channel. One moment. Okay, it does say I'm live. Cool. Wait, no, keep it muted. Right. Everything looks good there. I'm just gonna make a quick live now post, so... Here we go. 1 second. All right. Okay, and yeah, I'll just keep it on this screen for a little bit. Just give people some time to sort of filter in a little bit. And then I'll just get straight to drawing. And then I have just, for the background music in a moment, just a big, like those compilations of relaxing Xenoblade music. And I tested the sound balance with some recordings earlier. So that should be all good to go. And yeah, I hope everyone is well and having a good Friday. I hesitated for a moment. I was like, I'm trying to remember what day of the week it is. And yeah, I'm always a bit nervous before art streams because it really does feel like I'm putting myself on blast. I do not have the chaos of a game to hide behind. I have to just carry conversation on my own. And that's so scary. But it's sometimes good to do scary things. So let me see. And I think there might be I also gives people some time to drop in because I think that there's probably ads. I know there's like every half hour ads. I don't want it to be more frequent than that because already it feels quite disruptive when you get hit with one every half hour. So this is a good thing in that you can kind of see when they're coming. And what else? Hello, welcome Michael. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for dropping in. It's time for, I feel like a long-awaited art stream. I checked when I last did one, and it said 5 months ago, which is longer than I thought. I felt like it had been so recent, but time does fly like that, I guess. So, yeah, I'm excited and always nervous to get into the flow of drawing again. But yeah, I think today, the idea for the stream is to, I guess, talk about my process as I'm working, just because that's always good to do. And then, what was the other thing? And then take any questions about anything, really, as long as, you know, people are being respectful, I'll talk. And yeah, there was something else. Yeah, just generally have a chilled out vibe. Doing good, cooling off, and doodling some much needed OC brain rotting. That is a great way to be. That's a great way to cool off. And also, we're gonna be OC brain rot gang today. This is great. We might need to just execute ads in general, but it gets people paid, so it's tolerable. This is the this is the struggle, right? Because on one hand, like, you don't want to disrupt the viewing experience. But on the other hand, you want to sort of get some, like, you want to start making something out of what you're doing. So it's really hard. But, just as I read that, it was like, it was offering me to skip ad. Wait, what? Did I accidentally skip the ad break? Oh, well. I was just thinking, don't give people ads whilst I'm talking about ads. That's too on the nose, YouTube. I don't know if that's the every half an hour as well. Because I imagine unless I thought that the first mark of the half an hour is when people enter, like when I start the stream. I don't know how it works, so maybe I shouldn't have skipped that, but oh well. I'll keep an eye out when it gives me the notification again. If it's not at 35 minutes past the hour, then, or if it's before that, then I know something's funny here. So, yeah, I feel like I had a bunch of things in my brain and they, when they just all go out. Let me drink water. Get oxygen to my head. Yeah, thank you everyone for dropping in for some art. I will probably go back to streaming Tomodachi Life at some point soon. So I just thought, I ended up taking a break because I just was away for a bit. And then to get the Pokemon video finished because it was long overdue, like really long overdue. I feel bad. That was also 5 months ago. So I feel bad for making people wait that long. It was just, I don't know what it was. It was just an absolute unit to edit for some reason. So I kind of want to keep focusing on the editing a bit, so the streams might slow down just so I can catch up on that footage, both for the Pokemon Legends, the last part, and also for the Tomodachi Life streams. Like, that's a big editing project that I'm looking forward to. So I also think it's good to take a natural break from the game. Just so I don't overdo it. Kind of got burnt out of Tomodachi Life a while back. Just stopped hitting for me. That's so fair. That's so fair. Like, that's the thing. If you stop feeling the initial rush of a game, it makes no sense to force it after that. Because then it's just like, it's meant to be fun, right? I'm still enjoying it a lot personally. I don't want to overdo it. And I also don't want to create a huge backlog of editing for it, which there already is. There's like 11 streams. But I'm going to break it into smaller parts instead of doing what I usually do, where I try to like condense 70 hours, because that's such a time sink. That's what makes the videos take like months sometimes. So we'll see how it goes. You can only watch your OCs do the same 7 events in one day before the novelty wears off. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And sometimes it's like, what I've noticed is that I'm seeing people get different events to mine. So I'm like, I know they exist. I know some other ones exist, but sometimes some me's are insistent on living the exact same life, the exact same way for a while, which is quite funny. But yeah, I don't know if I'll stream it next week, maybe the week after. We'll see. I'll keep people posted on that. It's usually as and when I announce it. And Friday is turning out to be my stream day. This is inadvertent. It's just ended up being what's convenient, but that could be subject to change if my routine changes for any reason whatsoever. So actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the drawing screen. Let's start. Okay, I'm just going to figure out how to make my mic work with this. Okay. And then let me put on some soundtrack in the background. We've got relaxing Xenoblade music today. It's just so good for working to. I'm still playing, and now that the new Xenoblade games been announced? I'm still playing the definitive edition, and I'm planning to make my way through all the other games, and probably the DLCs too. But the soundtrack is really good for having in the background, especially the relaxing stuff. I just want to know if it's too loud or if it's at a good volume. So just give a shout if the volume's okay or not, and I'll get right to it. So this piece I'm working on, I decided to do beforehand like the line art and the background stuff, just because that involves a lot of decision making that I need to be sat down and fully focused on, at least for the time being. So I'm going to be focusing on coloring the characters today. That was my goal. Also because I think that's like the most relaxing to me to do on stream, or like it's the thing I can talk over the most. Oh yeah, I've heard that the new one's a completely separate thing. So technically, like when that comes out, I could play it on release. But I would also like to, what do you call it? I would also like to make my way through the other ones. Yeah, I'm about 20 hours? 20? I can't remember how many hours in I am into Xenoblade Definitive Edition. Hello, welcome, Vio. It's good to see you. Thank you for dropping in. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I've just opened the canvas. The time zones are indeed really wild. Crazy things they are. You gotta experience Peak and also Xeno X, I suppose. I heard the Xenoblade X is like a slightly separate thing as well. Okay, wait, that did not fill in correctly. Okay, so I have, in case anyone's curious, I have brush IDs for the Clip Studio brushes in the bottom right corner. And then, yes, and if anyone has any questions, feel free to drop them in. It's like 8 p.m. here. I woke up from a nap and thought I missed the stream. Oh my goodness, waking up from a nap at 8 p.m. is truly an experience. Hope you've been well. Yeah, I've been pretty good, thank you. I'm in an 11 a.m. situation, so on the other side of the day. I hope you're doing well as well. So, okay, my main thought process I've done before stream, yeah, I just focused on the like line art and background just so that I had some context with which to apply the colors to, because otherwise I realize that if I don't plan things, I will actually wing it and do a complete madness. It's 5 a.m. for me. Oh my goodness, thank you for dropping in at such wild hours. Yeah, I appreciate that. So with this, so the thing I'm thinking about right now with this piece is I have, wait, I'm gonna take off my headphones. I have the background light, the bounce light from the background. I have the light, I don't know why I did this. I have the light of the spells that are being cast. And then I kind of want the darkest areas to be a contrast to that so that it makes it stand out more. So that these lights here, these are the sort of main lights. They're sort of between the pink to blue area. So I might go with like a green, like a really dark green, just as the base. Like as the, and then yeah, basically I'll show my layers. Maybe I might move the brush IDs here because I feel like I don't think people need to see the brush sizes as much. And even this, I think I should put it up here. I don't know why I put it on the other side when the whole color wheel situation is on the right side. So let's go. I'll go through the layers quickly. There's like a billion layers of background. So this is all background. I think this is for like the little nebula situation. This is all background. Oh yeah, this is just the flat base. So I'm gonna start working on this. I have one layer. I did merge them all. I did not draw the line out all on one layer, but I do just merge them in the end because I lose track of them really easily. And then this is just all the effects. I'm going to keep these on because there's not going to be I kind of want to always see them in context. I might occasionally switch off this layer, but if I can't like directly see where the lights, like the main light is coming from, I think I'm going to get a bit confused. And then yeah, the line art is merged in one, and then usually what I do is I lock the pixels later on, set it to multiply, and then start to color it in, like as I start rendering. So this is the layer I'm gonna start with. So usually I start with I fill in the base layer, like the darkest color that I'm gonna have in the piece. So in this situation, it is this green. It's gonna look a bit odd for a moment. And then I start adding the other colors of the environment and the lighting before I add the colors of the actual character. So it's sort of similar to the process of traditional painting, where a lot of traditional paintings will have like a underpainting layer that I feel like at a glance doesn't immediately show through in the final piece, but it really helps in the process of me deciding colors and rendering and trying to keep them a bit more harmonious whilst using lots of them. And then I think what I'm going to do, I haven't tried much before, so I'm gonna experiment a little bit, but the top bit here is dark blue, so I kind of want to airbrush it a little bit. And then the pink of the bottom I also want to airbrush very lightly. And then I'm going to just eyedrop the colors to blend them a bit. They're taking Minecraft poison damage. Yeah. Someone accidentally ate rotten flesh or uncooked pork chop. Now it's over. I don't know, wait, I see, this is also good. This exposes this thing I did not erase. I mean, I don't need to erase all of it, because these are just going to be white pages. They're not going to, but looking at it bothered me. Okay. And then, so I have I'm just airbrushing first, and then until I'm satisfied with it. I don't know if I want to... I feel like this should be more blue. Okay. And then next order of business is I'm going to switch to this brush. This is the brush I use mainly for like painting. I use this one for painting, and then I use just like a normal textured, like a hard textured pen to like refine shadows later on. So I'm still like not going to focus on the character colors. I'm just going to focus on the colors of the lighting and just blocking that out. So yeah, usually now, like when I shade, I like to start with the darkest color and then do sort of like a reverse shading effect where I instead cut out where the light will be, because I feel like it's easier to visualize the overall shape of the shadows that way. And I feel like for me personally, if I shade with a darker color on a lighter base, I sometimes overcomplicate the shapes a lot. So this, for some reason, makes it easier for me to be concise with it. It doesn't have to be perfect though, because I'm going to fix it later on, but I at least need to translate the direction of the light. And this, I'm going to take a moment to think about it, because there's multiple things going on here. So I'm going to focus. So Celine is here on the left. So predominantly I'm just going to focus like the pink lights on her and then the purple lights on Loon, but there might be a little bit of overlap. So then, okay. Wait, I think this needs to be slightly bigger. I'll start off with a bigger brush. So first of all, the pages here are pretty light. If it bleeds over a bit, that's fine. And I'm gonna start with this color and then I'll use a slightly lighter color in a moment. And then here. And then I feel like a lot of this is in light, but I also need to think about like what's casting shadows. So this isn't going to be fully accurate, but I will roll with it. I'll roll with it. And then I feel like something like this. This is all going to be quite intensely lit up, to be honest. And then the book slightly, but then this bit I think I do want to keep darker. That seems good. This does seem quite... That's fine if it's bright, because once I actually color it in, it's going to look a bit different. And then I think it's... Yeah, like if I have more distinct shadows, it makes it easier for me to adjust things later on. So with this brush, the like level of opacity is sort of determined by how hard I press, I think. Well, actually, no, it's not. Yes, it is. I felt like I was going crazy for a second. And then if you layer on top of itself, it automatically becomes more opaque, which is nice for me to work with. So I quite enjoy that. Here we go. I'm trying to think a little bit of this, but maybe like slightly softer here. Some here. Very lightly here. So I want to, especially because there's so much going on in this photo, especially like there's a lot of clutter around the center where the book is, and then like it's kind of overlapping with Loon's body. So if I overcomplicate the shading, I'm worried that it will be hard to like read the overall image. And then I do want to do like a little squiggly shine on the hair. Hair is a weird one. I've not quite figured out how hair behaves in different lighting contexts, but do I want that? Yeah, sure, I'll stick with that for now. And then I'll do some slight like bounce light over here. Wait, this needs to be a bit lighter. Okay. Oh, no. A bit lighter. So yeah, a lot of the colors I lay down at the beginning, I do to make it easier to airdrop them. Like, airdrop? Eyedrop. What's happened to me? To eyedrop them later. Mainly, and then it helps maintain the cohesion of them throughout the piece. And also because I find it like hard to envision certain combinations without planning sometimes, so this always helps a bit. Okay, and then slight bounce light situation. I discovered what I fully processed what it means to have bounce light in a picture recently after watching like a video on color theory or something like that. And I was just thinking, oh, okay, that's why I keep I was doing it subconsciously, like, occasionally an area that's supposed to be far from the light source, I would think, oh, but it looks weird if I just keep it in complete shadow, let me lighten that a bit. And then it is that whole thing of, because of the light reflecting against the surface of whatever's in the background and then bouncing back onto, this is a very rough explanation, bouncing back onto the object or the person, there's like a slight rebound of whatever color is in the background. I don't know the exact specifics of it. I don't know if there's exceptions to that rule, but it is good to keep in mind, especially if I feel like something's off. Because I feel like it doesn't happen all the time. Okay. And then this here. Oh, wait, yeah, subsurface scattering. I think that's it. Yes. Because I know with subsurface scattering, because like I know when some people shade the skin with like a brighter orange color, I know that's also referred to as subsurface scattering. I don't know if that's the same situation. I will definitely end up looking it up after stream, so I make sure I have the right one. Okay, so there's this. Actually, I don't know about this. Wait, because there's a flame there. I think I should just keep this pink. Undo. Not that many undos. When did I add this? Okay, there we go. Right. And then I want some of this to go on Loon, but not too much. I mean, here, yeah, no, this would, from the light from the book, would definitely hit him here. Okay, I actually do need to, like, study how to shade faces more, though, because the shape of a shadow on the face always takes some getting used to for me. I'll probably just keep it simple, and then I'll do something with it later. See, now they're both very bright pink. No, that does not need to be pink, actually. Does it? Does it? Who knows? Maybe a little bit. A little bit. We'll see. Okay, and then let me do some of the purple. So some of this is gonna hit here. And definitely all around here, because... And down the staff. And then some on his arm. Because the staff is slightly forward, I feel like less of it's actually gonna hit Loon, so I don't want to... I think I do want to keep it like that. Right. And then I'm just gonna go in with the lighter pink. Then, yeah, this is like a lot more desaturated. What? Oh, that's the flame. That's the flame from the... I was like, what is this random pen glob here? It's just the fire. It's fine. No, I don't want to overdo it. And then let's use this. Okay, I quite like how that's turning out on the staff. This is good. This is a good start. I need to make sure I do have a thing of like getting ahead of myself and then falling into autopilot at one point when I'm doing a piece, and then that's usually when I do something that I'm like, wait, that's wrong, and then I can't fix it by the time I realize. I feel like some of this needs to go onto the hair. Pen? Okay. Moment of tablet lag there, but it's fine. It happens like at least once per draw. Nope. Okay. Next. Tiny bit here. No. It's too far. I'll keep it like that. I think that does it for like this base layer. So yeah, basically I just map out the main like really simple lights and shadows on this, and then when I go to the next layers, I'm going to clip them on. I will... My brain is not working today. When I go to the next layers, I'll actually start adding the colors of the characters. I do need to, so I'm going to clip this to this layer. And I do need to open just the sketches of them as a reference. I do need to give them like full detailed references because I literally had to like guess most of the details on their outfits through this. As I was drawing this, I was like, yeah, now that's how that brooch works now. Okay, so I'm gonna start with, because Loon is behind, I will start with his character with his colors, because I don't want to have to like color his without interfering with Celine's, whereas hers can go over his if she's in front, if that makes sense. So I will just eyedrop them. Okay, so on this layer, I just very lightly paint in the colors with the same paw pen brush. And then what it does is that it does show through, like the colors underneath show through a little bit from that. So it sort of already starts to take shape, but we'll see. So here, and then this is just the skin. Here. One of his legs. The other one has a weird starry situation going. What's next? I'm gonna go in order of what's like on top or beneath, so let me do the trousers. So yeah, I'm like not taking my hand off the canvas right now as I'm coloring, just because the moment I take off my hand and then I go back on with this brush, it like darkens because it layers on top of itself. So this keeps it somewhat translucent, which I like. Okay, so that's the trouser, that's the shirt. There's so much that's like overlaying itself that I've lost a little bit of track, but I will figure it out. Next one. I'm trying to think of what's the sensible one to do next. It's probably this, which is the same color. Okay, I did not think that through. That goes... I do need to move this because this... Okay, that is his shirt still. And that is still trousers. That's all trousers. That's all trousers. This needs to be erased here. Okay. Yeah. Oh no, I've like zoomed it out weird. Here we go. This needs to be erased there. Okay, and then yeah, as I just do the base colors, I'll keep that off. And then what I will do, the little jumper. That's what that shows up as on this? Did I eyedrop the right? Yeah, I think I did. It's just, that's weird how that works. I was like, that looks really light here, but I think it's just because of how dark the green is. It's really throwing me off. That's fine. The shirt. Okay, let me go back to that shirt color, because this is the same. I mean, this is not going to make much difference here, but that's fine. And then that is a bit of shirt there. Yes, yes it is. And then that's a bit of jumper. And then here we go. I'm just doing a think. Okay, one glove. Here we go, and then down here, this ribbon. This is actually his ribbon. This ribbon is really confusingly placed because it technically could read as being attached to Celine on her trench coat, but it's attached to like the back of Loon's sort of robes. So here we go. Let me erase this a little bit. Here we go. Yeah. Anything else that's white? I'm trying to knock it out all in one go, but I think it's fine if I don't. Right. This situation, I think it's mostly covered. This is supposed to be, I think it goes like this, so it gets hidden behind the ribbon. I remember from how I was layering layering it as I was line arting. Okay, this, I forgot about this bit, which is behind Celine. And then this is here. And here. Yep. And, oh, that's been colored. And then this is the same color. This is slightly, there's lots of purple going. Hi, welcome to the stream. Hello, did I miss any questions? No, I think you're good so far. I've just been talking through like my art process and stuff and coloring. But yeah, if anyone has any questions about anything, whether it's like related to the channel or related to the drawing or whichever, feel free to ask away. yeah. So I'm just currently sort of, I've done like an underpainting sort of layer, and now I'm doing like painting. Am I on the right layer? Okay, phew. I thought I was painting on the wrong layer. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm painting on the layer above. I should be like just with like the base colors of the characters, who are Celine and Loon. They're two original characters. I think they've been featured pretty prominently in the Tomodachi live streams, so people might know them from there, but they're meant to be part of like an original story situation that I'm working on, which I might talk on a bit more in a moment. But right now I'm like fully locked in on just this bit of the drawing is always the most involved, so it like takes up the most of my brain power. And then as I get to like refining things, which is the bulk of it, I will be a lot more fluid with it. And I'm also really not used to multitasking whilst I'm drawing. So this, like, art streams are always, I feel like a good learning experience for me in that respect. And also a good test of my ability to keep talking and be whilst I'm just drawing as well. Are they blue too? No, thankfully. No, yeah, they've avoided the blue curse of my character creation. Celine is pink and Loon is purple, which is blue and red mixed together, I guess. So, but technically not blue. There is blue in this picture. I do like blue a lot. And I always think, oh, I'm not gonna always be so biased towards my favorite color. And then why am I in with the yellow? Incorrect. And then lo and behold, it shows up in wacky and mysterious ways. Isn't pink inverted blue? I mean, technically yellow is, but it's not far off it. If we go by the color wheel, yellow is like right on the opposite. Pink is kind of adjacent. So I'm safe on that one. But yeah, I gravitate towards blue, purple, and teal a lot as colors that I really like. Okay. And then this is a stripe. I'm just winging it. Well, I'm not really winging it, but I feel like I'm winging it when I let myself autopilot, and I'm like, that's okay. That's fine. Like, this is... Yeah, it's always interesting how colors show up in different contexts, because this is not reading as green here at all to me, but the moment I brush it over the green, it fries my brain a little bit. Okay, this is what I want this thingy here to be. And then fair, they feel more nature and magic related, IMO. Yeah, they're both, they are both mages, but of a different kind. Like, Celine is the type of mage that methodically casts spells, and Loon is the type of mage that swings his staff around like a club. Very different approaches to fighting, where one is strategic and the other is just deliberately unhinged. He's like that for the love of the game, if anything. Right. I am so sad. Like, the little effect thing hides the star and the stuff, which I really like, but what can I do? That's sometimes how it is. I have to let go of some things. Oh, I meant the colors. Yeah. That's fair, that's fair. Based melee mage. I find melee mages very funny. Looking for... Oh, let's do this arm situation. TBH, watching you render made me appreciate how much thinking goes into your paintings. Thank you, thank you. My brain just kind of goes on autopilot, like if it looks good, it looks good, lol. I think, yeah, I think if I'm drawing on my own and like just sort of in my room, as I get used to a lot of things, I also fall into autopilot. I feel like just as you practice things as well, like a lot of things about drawing do become like that. But it's really interesting. I was thinking, oh yeah, even before stream, I was like, how am I going to explain why I do X, Y, Z? So then it forced me to actually think about why I picked certain things for my process. And like look back on a lot of artists and videos that inspired me to sort of pick up some of the methods that I did. But it also, I feel like forcing myself to talk through it and like out loud think about my reasoning has also stopped me from going at it too fast, which I usually sometimes do, and then I accidentally make a mistake in doing that. So this is yeah, I'm curious to see how this works out this time, because I feel like I haven't colored on stream. I think I did. My first art stream I did color on stream, but I think I still also was finishing off the line art, so I didn't get the chance by the end of stream to fully explain the coloring process. But this time, hopefully, depending on how efficient I'm with it. I'm sorry for pestering you about art streams so much. No, it's completely okay. I like art streams because I think they actually help me when focus a bit more on my drawing sometimes. And like, I think, like I said, think about them more methodically, where I would maybe autopilot some things. Like, I think a lot of the drawings I've worked on in previous art streams have turned out to be drawings that I like and I'm happy with. So it's all good. It's all good. And I was like wanting to stream this week, but I think I was saying earlier I wanted to take a little bit of a break from the Tomodachi live streams just so I can catch up on fixing that footage. So this is truly the perfect time to art stream. What am I doing here? Here we go. And then this feels like a different shade of purple in this context. And that's, I mean, I get that. So I just have to trust the process with that. I can press harder in some parts if I want the color to show up a bit more there. And then I do want the little sort of galaxy effect on this one arm, like glassy arm and leg. That looks different for, you know, plot reasons, as things do. And then I might just use I might use the line art pen to just zoom in and do some stars. Huh? My pen vanished. Oh no, my Clip Studio needed a moment to load. Maybe I should save. Maybe that's what it was doing. And then I might adjust this more later on. Actually, those stars are showing up really small. And I'm using the wrong pen. I was like, why is it not as translucent as I would like? And I'm using the one that's not opaque. That's too big. I mean, the one that is opaque. I'm deeply in need of a character training arc montage moment with my art study, so I appreciate learning from you, Lamau. Anytime. Yeah, but I get that. Like, I feel like it always has to happen in phases with me as well, where there's some times where I'm super motivated to study, or like I feel the urgency of I need to brush up on a few things. And then there's times where it's just like, we ball, we draw, and see what happens. But I think it's good to shift between different things so that to prevent burning out too much on one. I'll come back more skilled, trust. It's actually been really exciting seeing a lot of your art journey stuff, so I'm really looking forward to that. Here we go. Stars. Yeah, that looks alright at a distance. I had something in my brain. Yeah, like recently, I feel like I should share it at some point. I watched a really good, I must have saved it to a playlist at some point. I watched a really good video on clothing folds that kind of changed my brain when it came to drawing clothes. And that's something that for years I had not really... There's a lot of things that when I studied as I was younger as well, when it came to art, that I feel like they didn't... Even if the logic was like... The logic in the video I was watching followed, I still struggled to like internalize the reasoning behind it. So a big one of those things is clothing folds. Like people will say, oh, you know, that they kind of constrict around certain parts in this way, and this is how you can figure that out. And I would be like, yeah, I get that. And then when it came to drawing, it would go completely out of my head. Oh, is the music loud? I will turn it down. Actually, it does look like it's... Here we go. Thank you for mentioning. Yeah, especially if because I've not got my headphones in, because if I listen to the music and talk and draw, I can't process it with my brain. So I'm not like, I think as the songs are changing through the playlist, they might be in different volumes. I've turned it down a little bit, so hopefully that's better. Okay. I think your clothing folds have really improved in your recent art, TBH. Thank you, thank you. I've really been enjoying clothes recently. It's been so fun to like think about how the folds work and stuff. It also, when it comes to coloring later, if I know what I'm doing with, like, clothes are where coloring can be so hit or miss for me. So if I have like more of a plan from the beginning, it helps so much. Is that? Oh, I see. I see what's happening here. Nope. Oh, wait. No, let me take this off. What? Excuse me? Okay, it was just in my head. I was like, what? Is that the background? Why is that not showing up? No, it's just I hadn't painted it. I was thinking too much about it. Right. Yeah, I definitely need to get better at that. Really need to get better at the learning better art skills thing. Very much stuck in my art style and would be nice to branch out a bit more. I feel that. I feel that sometimes. Like, I feel like the way it ended up being more enjoyable for me, because I really sometimes struggle to just draw like studies without it being something that I'm interested in. So I would sort of mix like studying poses or studying clothes with like just an excuse to draw things that I like. Oh, hello, welcome. Let me catch up on chat real quick. Thank you everyone for dropping in. Hi, are you also dying of heat wave? Yes, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's awful. I just need a moment to talk about how much I've started doing this insane thing, right? When it comes to summer, where I deliberately wear more layers to make myself more hot so that I get used to more like worse heat, so that I adjust and become more resistant and don't have to lose my beloved layers in the summertime. Yeah, it is a struggle. But yeah, anyone who is struggling through heat wave right now, I'm wishing you the best of luck. And I hope you're staying cool and hydrated. And on that note, I'm drinking water. It's really bad. I've been getting like 35 degrees in this humid, temperate climate. It's atrocious. If I'm in another country and I experience 35 degrees, it's kind of fine. Here, it's so obnoxious. Anyway, yeah, I had to slide into that British instinct to complain about the weather real quick. Hello, welcome, welcome. Hi, I'm a young artist looking for YouTubers to see my art. I made an OC with a pet dog. I don't think it's very good. It's in my post if you can check it out. If it's okay, I'll be sure to check it out after stream. That's, yeah. I think, you know, like, especially if you're learning, it's good to be kind to yourself when you're making art. Like, I used to be, I think when I was growing up, I didn't think as much about whether it was good or not, but just enjoying the process of drawing. And you eventually do start to get to a point where you're like, actually, I'm happy with this. And it is like, that's always the struggle of starting out with art. Especially when in this day of the internet where, like, I didn't grow up seeing other people's art as much on the internet until like I was in my teenage years and I had drawn for a long time. So in this day of the internet, it's so hard because you see a comparison of people who've been drawing for ages, right? So that always makes it harder. But I wish you all the best on your art journey. Also, nice drawing. Thank you, thank you. Oh, you're in winter, like fully on the opposite end. How's that going? Yeah. That's the thing. It's like, I think I forget, like sometimes like in parts of the globe, the seasons are just completely reversed, which I think is pretty cool. I saw that map as well, the temperature map of like Europe with France being so hot, like it got burned off the map, and I was like, are the French okay right now? Because like even here it's a struggle. It was 40 degrees. 40 degrees is like you can't go outside. It's so bad. It's so bad. I want to color his hair a slightly lighter color, but let's just do this. No, that's too light. As in Australia, winter is brutal. I want the heat back. Oh no. Wait, what's the Australian winter situation like right now? I'm so curious. That's the thing, like once the winter hits, I'm like, I could do with some sunlight. It's never good enough. I'm making a manga and it's painful. Oh my goodness, best of luck. That takes so much, it takes so much work. Wishing you all the best. Yeah, 1 second, I'm just gonna try and take a moment to lock in and sort out this hair color. Which is not doing what, okay, I need to undo. Yeah, that's better. And then color it. You know what, why am I not eyedropping his actual hair when I've been eyedropping everything else? Working in 40 degrees is absolutely atrocious. It should not be allowed without like AC in your workplace. I fully believe that. Like, I think in the UK they have a minimum working temperature. I think they should. I'm pretty sure when I was like in a few previous jobs that it definitely exceeded that minimum a few times because the heating was installed in like the 1990s and caught fire once, so no proper heaters except space heaters. And Christmas season was, I was wearing coats in the workplace, but my mum nearly had a heat stroke. Oh my goodness, that's scary. Hope she's all right. Australia's big winter is different depending on where you are. Yeah, because it's got like a big sort of landmass, right? So I imagine it varies a lot. No AC in schools. I think that's crazy. I think no AC in schools is crazy. And like France like gets slightly hotter summers like in parts of it as well already. Without like the heat wave situation happening. Yeah. I think that's the thing, like a lot of the like northern hemisphere has just decided that they do not want to put AC on things because expensive, but I'm like, yeah, but it needs to be cooler. I can't live like this. No one can. Yeah. Feels like a completely normal day specifically. It's very strange. Sometimes some people just like are chilling in the heat. I get that. There are some days where I don't notice as much. If I had the power, I would consume all the summer heat for your OG. That would be truly game-changing. That is insane. Like, they literally had to do emergency intervention. Yeah, this is the thing. It's like every type of weather we get here, especially, and I feel like it sounds like everywhere, it does not do it in moderation these days. Just crazy. Thunderstorm would be huge, actually. The thunderstorm is the reset. Okay. So I'm just, for those who joined recently, I'm doing some coloring of OCs, their name on the left. My lefts and rights are not an immediate thing to me. On the left is Celine, and on the right is Lune, and they are both, I mean, they're both mages, but different types. There is like a little, I've removed the layer of the effects of the actual magic so I can see what I'm coloring underneath. Gertrude cannot be enjoying Lumiose in this weather. I don't know, man. Gertrude is kind of insane like that, where she probably might, no matter what weather, she might just thrive. Actually, wait, no, she's Galarian. I don't know if she'd survive. I also feel like I'm someone that gets cold quite easily, so I do okay in the heat. But I also know people who are the opposite, where they will wear like one layer in the winter. Not gonna lie, I don't think Hotel Z has AC with their one guest in the main character of Pokemon ZA. And it's also like, it looks like a super old hotel, right? It looks very nice, but it does not look air conditioned. Yeah, she would be. She would be. Yeah, exactly. It takes place in the release month, so it's okay. Lumiose autumn to winter. Oh yeah, you do have the frozen wild zone. This is the strat. Okay. What am I missing? Oh, I think all that's left for... Oh, there's a couple of things left for Lune's base colors. First of all, this. Forgetting this. I kind of just scrunched it up here because it's creased and, like, pushed away, but who knows if that's accurate. That's the thing. I guess in Pokemon you have access to Pokemon, so you can, like, acclimatize very easily to things. I mean, I guess, like, no one's catching a Pokemon for every weather condition, but I feel like there's so many options. Let me be clear, Obama Snow. I understood that reference to real life. Trying to remember the colors of his star. I do remember. I have the stuff in a separate reference, but I can't. I'm just I believe in my ability to remember. Are there games that you like to play but not for your channel? Yes. So I think one that I'm currently playing is Tales of Vesperia, and also Xenoblade Chronicles the definitive edition version. So those are two main ones currently. I just generally pick, like, I deliberately pick games. Oh, audio cutting out? Oh no. Wait, let me check. I'll come back to that. I'll see what's happening with OBS. Oh no. Oh. Wait, I'll catch up on chat in a second. I'm just worried about the... Is it okay now? Did it just have a glitchy moment? I'm wondering why that did that. Did my PC just... Let me check. Oh, okay, it's okay. Thank goodness. Okay, I think it just maybe it was on YouTube's end, or maybe my PC slowed down for a second. But then I was looking at the temperatures and stuff, and the percentages, and everything was fine. So I was so confused. But I think it's like it might just be a technology doing its thing moment. Let me catch up. So first, oh yeah, games you like to play but not for your channel. Yeah, like I just deliberately pick games to play on my own. Either it's games that I'm playing at the same time as friends or stuff like multiplayer games, or what do you call it? Or ones that I do to like relax in the evening. So obviously I don't have it in me to talk through them, or I'm playing them at midnight, so it's like I can't really talk at the same level of energy. Not midnight, actually. I'm not allowed to do that. Like that's a personal rule I have for myself. I should be in bed by then, but like around 11 p.m., like the hour before I sleep, I sometimes wind down by playing games. So that's, yeah. So currently the two main ones, and then when I finish them, I'll probably pick up more RPGs. I'm trying to make my way through a lot of games I want to play. Have you played Deltarune? Not yet. Ages ago, I watched playthroughs of the first 2 chapters, but now that chapter 5 is out, like I'm seriously considering playing it. Because I really want to play it. It looks like so much fun, and the soundtrack is insane. Like it's stunning. And what have I done? What have I done? What layer is that on? What layer? Pray tell, what layer are you? What? What is happening? Have I erased something? I think I've erased something. Wait. I mean, I might have erased it, and that's why there's a big blob of purple there. Because why was that? So let me fix that. And now let me see if this comes up on top. Now it works. Okay. Crisis averted. Let me go back to this color. And then, do you have any interesting hobbies? I mean, oh, that's a good question. Oh, like things I do, I guess things I do off stream that I sort of just do for myself, and like, because it's good to have things, like I do draw for myself and just have things usually in my sketchbook that I just don't post, or I don't draw with the aim of posting or showing, so then it's just nice to unwind. So that on the drawing side of things, there's that. Other than that, I do play the piano, and I like have been taking lessons for that for like a decade now. I just really enjoy that. It's like a good way to keep my brain going as well, because reading sheet music occupies everything in my head. So I heard it's pretty good for you as well. I do really enjoy, like if I get it right, it's really satisfying. So that's another one. And then like I like to recently I've been trying to just sort of dabble in new things that specifically like take me out to meet strangers, because I feel like I mean, when I was younger, that sounded like a nightmare, because I was a lot more anxious as a person. But recently I've been trying to deliberately push myself out of my bubble in that respect, like both, like especially in real life, because I think, yeah, and I've really enjoyed that. Like I've sometimes just gone out and tried classes and stuff for different things. I tried improvisation at one point. It was the most nerve-wracking thing, but the people were really, really nice. So the nerves went away very quickly. Yeah, I've managed. Wait, let me just catch up again. Avoid spoilers as much as you can. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think my timeline's generally quite good with spoilers, which is nice. So it's not been too bad, but I think it's just because it's been out for one day. All right, I'm on Celine's base colors now. Here we go. So, do the skin here. Might do like another layer. Right. Let me catch up again. You should definitely play Deltarune. It's great. Chapter 5 is my second favorite chapter after chapter 2. That one's peak. Oh, I've heard, yeah, I think I've seen people on the timeline having a good time. Only played up to chapter 2, but it's an incredible game so far. Yeah, like from what I've seen, it looks so good. And I think at the beginning I was like, oh, I'll just watch it. And now I'm like, no, I need to play this. So mayhaps that is maybe one that I might record. How you so fast rendering, pal? OMG. Good question. I think like knowing because I'm super familiar with this brush, it's like a lot easier for me to wield and like figure out how to blend with it, because some brushes I struggle a lot with. And then I've been using this one for years now, I think. But also I've like, because of the layer underneath, it takes care of a lot of the heavy lifting of the rendering for me, because there's like a lot of shadows and light mapped out already, which helps a lot. Fellow piano player? Yeah, let's go piano gang. Could we get a lore dump about these two? Yeah, sure. So, where do I begin? Let me take a drink of water again. Because I'm about to lock in. Right. So where to begin? I'll start with... Who's easier to start with here? Like, who's a bit easier to unpack between these two? Celine or... Because they both have a lot going on. So... You know, I'll talk about them as a unit and then I'll specialize. So, Celine and Lune are... Well, they're both mages to start with. They're both very good friends. They enjoy, like, they bond over their shared studying an interest in history and ancient ruins and stuff like that. So they often spend a lot of time researching together. They're both, I think I mentioned they were both mages. I don't know why I keep bringing that up. Like there is other things about them. Celine is very analytical, let's say. She's like sort of strategic and level-headed. Initially in more of a cunning way, because she's sort of, for a lot of reasons, basically trying to fend for herself in the world and and sort of make herself seen, because she's got a big fear of... Where is that line coming from? She's got this big fear of being forgotten, basically. So she sort of, initially when she meets people, she puts on a very like polite front, that a lot of, like, I mean, some characters see through it in the story. Lune is one of them, but he's not really bothered by that, so they kind of get along, and she's able to let her guard down. Ara also notices, who's one of the other characters. She's the twin sister of Aaron, and they're like the main characters. So she also notices, but her and Celine don't get along initially, and then they get along a lot. But Lune and Celine, because they have a lot in common, get along very quickly. And so she calls him out on his nonsense a lot, and vice versa, but like in a very light-hearted way. And like they sort of both know, both of them have things that are questionable about them at the beginning, but they both sort of realize that they're mutually like that, so they sort of trust that in each other, and then like they sort of kind of grow together, so it's quite nice. Let me I will also catch up again on chat. I remember the reason I started playing piano as a child was because I wanted to play the Fire Emblem theme song Lamal. That is such a valid reason. I think so much, you know, like so much of my growth in like initially playing piano was also to learn either like anime songs that I liked, which I didn't end up learning, but video game soundtracks, Fire Emblem was one of them. I think Zelda, especially when I was before I got into Fire Emblem, like that was such a huge motivator. You're not naming your layers is driving me crazy. Yeah, I never name my layers, and then I always pay the price. I always pay the price because I'm always like, what is this? What is this one on? What is this one on? And it's like, I've like never trained myself into like actually naming them, and so now I'm just stuck in this existence of unnamed layers. Oh, that's the same color as the hat. Yeah. So the world that Celine and Lune exist in is basically this world where people are ranked magically and societally to an extent based on like a deck of cards. And so that like a lot of the world is structured around that. So, well, Lune is a weird anomaly in that he has this weird Joker card or Joker status that no one's ever heard of. And then Celine is an Ace of Hearts. And so Ace of, like, she comes from like a very esteemed like journalist family. And initially she's the older of two siblings. I've changed this a few times. Initially she was the younger sibling, now she's the older sibling. And she was initially in line to like succeed sort of their like journalist business, and she was preparing herself for that, but she was also quite like sickly as a child, and then she uses like her prowess in magic to sort of work around that and be self-sufficient, because she wasn't like, there was no one she could rely on growing up at the moment, because the moment she had a sibling born who was not not in the same situation as her, basically, her parents immediately, her younger brother, they were like, oh, we're gonna focus on him instead. So they basically just left her behind. Like, she was still like in their family and she's still growing up with them, but they didn't really care. So she was just had to study things independently. I love how you draw your OC clothes. I love the design. Thank you so much. Thank you. I want to try piano, but piano lessons are expensive. Yeah, I completely get that. Completely get that. Thankfully, there's like, I feel like a lot of stuff to start with online, but it's like, because I think before I got lessons, that was how I sort of just, I kind of tried to self-teach myself some things. But yeah, I completely get that they can be a bit of a financial obstacle. Do you plan making videos on Fortune's Weave? Yes. I will not stream it because it will probably take me like 100 hours to beat, but I'm thinking of recording it. Mainly because I remember when I streamed Engage, I was streaming it for a whole year, and then I really wanted to play through the game, but I was like, oh, but I have to stream it right now. So then I sometimes like wouldn't be able, like it took me a long time. Like Fire Emblem, I feel like is hard for me to stream, but record I could probably do. So yeah, I probably will. Yeah, because I think it would be fun. Like playing card deck or fortune cards? Playing card. Oh yeah. Oh, and then I saw your next message. So here we go. So yeah, Celine's, I think I mentioned Celine has a very strategic, like, or methodical, level-headed personality. Lunar/Lune is very mischievous and provocative on purpose. Maybe partly as a defense mechanism, and then partly because he's just cheeky. Like, that's who he is. So yeah, I guess he isn't like a lot. There are some characters who he's able to get a rise out of a lot easier, and then there's some characters who just like his nonsense kind of deflects off them. Celine is one of those, like, that he kind of just, he can't really get a rise out of. Aaron is probably his biggest target. because Aaron is notoriously, so he's like the main character, he's notoriously very easily riled up. Yeah, I have no clue what this EXP thing is either. Like, it shows up and I'm just thinking, oh cool, people can level up. I hope that I wonder if I can make it interesting as on the streamer side. Like, I wonder if there's things I can do with that. But if not, best of luck in gaining EXP, everyone. An activity scoreboard. Oh, I see. It's just like, oh, you talk this much, you get some EXP. Fascinating. I did color this bit of the shirt. I think I'll just do the big, like the, wait, let me move this here. The chunk of the trench coat then. We love the Rage Baiter and his Rage Baity snog in the background, exactly. Sorry, I yapped too much. No, it's okay, it's okay. I always welcome yapping in the chat. It also gives me a springboard off of which to talk more, so it's always actually really helpful. So thank you. Yeah, I'm curious. I'll look into this EXP thing just because I'm curious about what it. Oh, it's saving recovery information. That's my sign to actually save. How tall are they? Celine is. She's quite short. I can't remember the exact number. It's between like 157 and 160 centimeters. Well, 160 is not that short actually, but yeah, like 150 to 160. I forgot the exact number. I think it's 160. And then Loon is 176, who he's 1 centimeter taller than Aaron, who's 175. I did that on purpose. And I think it's funny for me to think, like every time I think about it, it makes me laugh because he's definitely not letting him forget that. She looks tall. Oh yeah, I think it's just like the perspective of the top-down situation. I also, that is actually something I struggle, is to proportionally sort of draw different heights, if that makes sense. I'm just gonna get this in. I'm trying to take notes on your painting process, but it's so wildly different from mine, making my brain fried. Yeah, I feel like especially if there's times when I've like tried to study different painting styles as well, and I'm like, what? I've never done that before. It takes me a moment to like process, because I feel like once you fall into a rhythm, sometimes it's so hard to come out of it as well, like to do something else. But so I've sort of usually I end up when I'm studying things merging different things with what I'm used to, so it's not as much of a shock for me. Okay, see, whenever I shade, the little gradient on these ruffles is kind of hard to show, but we'll try anyway. Okay, so yeah, once I finish these, like, this sort of painting, this, like, base painting layer, I'm going to add a bunch of other layers. And then, like, multiply and stuff. Is that the... Yeah, that's part of her ruffles. To sort of further define the light and the shadows. And then I will refine it. Actually, this, like, the lighting is doing okay today. I'm without the extra layers, which I'm happy about. This is great. Okay. This book, I'm putting off coloring this book. This freaking book. There's so many patterns on it. Why do I do this to myself? Okay. See if I can do this gradient situation. 1.87 is super tall, yeah. I feel like 6 foot, I'm always in centimeters mode. 6 foot is like 184 or 183, something like that. I used to think it was exactly 180, but I don't know if it is. Oh, I forgot to color these ruffles. 272 is is the tallest? Damn. I need to remember that little brooch on the belt underneath. Or the clasp, that's probably a more correct way. And then I forgot this. So I always forget things. Which, I have to like backtrack. Why? What? Oh, that's from the layer above. I thought I'd missed color. There we go. Yeah, let me double check. I think it's not exact. Like, I thought it was going to be an exact sort of multiple of 3, but I think it's a bit more than 180. I could be wrong. I can double check it. I can double check if I need to know. I need to know. How tall is 6 foot? We briefly interrupt this drawing program. Oh yeah, it's not. So it's according to Google, it's 1.829 meters, so it's very specific. But yeah, 183, if we round it. Just a few centimeters over. Okay, what are we doing here? When you do the base layer coloring, do you also do the lighting along with it? Yeah, a little bit. Like in some of if I'm coloring with a lighter color, sometimes I, like here on the white of the dress, sometimes I go back over with it a bit more just to emphasize the light area. So I do like some very, very light shading in that respect. And then I focus more on the light and the shadows, like, after I've done the base layer, and make them more defined. But yeah, until then I sort of do a little bit just to help me out, mapping things in the later bits. Here, it kind of looks like it's lighter because I was trying to do the gradient of the ruffles, but it always just looks like they're glowing a bit. But that's kind of fun, so I might stick with it. Here we go. And then I need to figure out how to do the checker patterns on her, like collar and stuff. Let's see. Thinking of which one to do next. Is this... Wait, I need to remove the flame a second. Oh, and that reveals a bunch of things I still need to color in. There's stuff here that needs to be erased. The stuff here that I've filled in by accident. I'm trying to remember. This is hair here. This... What have I done? I think this is a continuation of her hair, so this is definitely erased. Actually, I'm gonna erase this line and rub out that whole part. No? This I know is the ruffle. This bit here I know is the ruffle. Let me do that. And then... Yeah. It looks odd without the... There we go. Okay. Just so I can define what's going on there a bit better. Opinion on dragons, including the wings of fire kind. I think dragons are really cool. I'm a big fan of dragons. What else do I have to say on dragons? I just was like, yeah, I think they're neat. Yeah, I just feel like whenever you see a dragon pop up in a game, I always feel the gravity of that. If it's behind the flame and hidden, would there be point of coloring it? I guess not. Like, that's been my logic. But I think for the base colors... Actually, now it's fine. Sometimes it helps me not be confused. I think it's fine now. It's just when I was trying to fix what was going on behind, I needed the full context of what was there to figure it out. So I sort of go in and out of having stuff. This here is Ruffle. This pouch is, I think it's the same color as the hat and the situation. Your base colors look so vibrant. Thank you. I think because the underpainting layer is pretty dark, and also the background, a lot of the colors that in the context of a white background would look not that bright, end up popping out a lot more, which is nice because I kind of wanted to go for a very vibrant vibe with this picture. This silver color. Wait, I'm gonna adjust my seating position. One moment. I might grab tea in a second. Just because I feel like I need a warm drink just to keep my, throat okay through talking. It's not like I'm feeling strained or anything, but it's just... I know for future me that this might be a good shout. Okay, let me sort that there. Belts. Let's do the belts. When I do flats, it gets dull, and I usually overpaint the saturation during rendering. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Like, I think that is a struggle that I've had, where it depends on the context of the colors I'm using, because it depends. Some colors I think are, or some lighting situations are easier to make look vibrant than others. So sometimes I've worked with yellow and blue and it kind of gets a bit muddy, for example. So yeah, what's my solution to that? I'm trying to think. I think sometimes you breaking up saturated colors when rendering with a desaturated intermediate can kind of help with not wanting to overdo it. I'm trying to think of what my direct approach has been to that. Yeah, or the other one is if you have very saturated shadows, it's good to keep the light more desaturated. That's a big one that I've been sort of focusing on more recently, because I think before I used to do really saturated light, and then I realized my eyes were not giving myself a break in the drawing. Yeah, a British woman drinking tea, how cliche, I know. Yeah, but I'm gonna go for some Moroccan mint tea, because also the Arab in me enjoys spearmint tea among other things. And I don't do tea with milk that much, for example. I'm always just drinking I'm always drinking it either black or if it's black tea, I'll drink it black. Or if it's green tea, then it's green tea. Yeah, the computer to phone conversion is it hurts me. It hurts me so much whenever I look at something on my phone. Especially I think I have a newer phone, so it's been a bit better, but I remember my previous phone, I would look at my art on there and I'd be like, that's what people are seeing when they're scrolling on their phones. But I'm just, obviously I don't want to change how I paint, because it's nice to just sort of paint with what you have. But that being said, I always feel like that with my own stuff, but whenever I'm seeing art online on my phone, for example, I actually mainly, I've deleted a lot of apps off of my phone, social media wise, so I do mainly browse on my computer. But if I'm looking at art on my phone. I don't usually notice like anything off with other people's art. It's literally I just end up picking up with mine. I am actually, yeah, I think I am gonna like literally go for like 5 minutes just to make some spearmint tea. But so I'll be right back. Let me go to the be right back screen. Let me actually use it this time. Because in Tomodachi Life, I was just letting the Miis walk. So yeah, tea time break. I'll be right back in like 5. Let me switch it over. Here we go. Okay, hello. Thank you for waiting. I have tea is brewing, so I need to remember to drink it before it goes cold. That's my goal. Don't commit arson while you're gone, please. I regret to inform you that the house is on fire. We are so back. So, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I think I will keep going for about like an hour and a half, I think. And then, because I have errands to run in the afternoon, all of which involve going out into literally the peak of the heat, which I didn't think that through, but I'll survive. I'll firm it. It's fine. Let me go back to the drawing tab. So I realize this is cropped off, but here we go. So yeah, I'll keep going for an hour and a half, and then I'll dip. And yeah, welcome back, everyone. Thank you for waiting. And I must remember to drink my tea before it goes. I must remember. I literally said not to. The inner. Oh wait, I've muted the desktop audio. Here we go. The inner rebel in me truly came out. Yeah, I had one job, which was to not set something on fire, and yes, I definitely did. Okay, checker patterns, which I always put off because I will just draw them in, you know? Also, this, wait, no, that bit of glove is not colored. You will not hide from me, glove. Hello, Oru, welcome. Thanks for dropping in. I hope you're doing well. Did you see my comment? I don't think I did, actually. It's just practice for going outside. Exactly, I'm trying to acclimatize to my environment. And I'm like, because right now I'm actually wearing things that are way too warm for outside, so I probably should not do that. But the hoodie is comfy. I don't know if I want to. Don't know if I want to give that up. No, I should. I will actually perish. I will actually perish otherwise. Of course, an ad now. Blorbos are looking great so far. Thank you. Yeah, we have Celine and Loon today. Got an AI ad? No, that's cringe. You all get ads. What pen am I using? The right one. Okay, fine. What? I might darken this a bit. Here we go, and then this. And then I have to do it here too and try and figure out the perspective of it, but I'm gonna do some guesswork today. That about looks right. It looks like it's coming forward. And then this situation. Yeah, so a lot of this I'm like doing, I have the layer underneath, and then this I'm doing just by lightly pressing with this brush, so it maintains like less opacity and shows through what's beneath it. Yeah, I completely get that. It's the N-shitification of it all. So I completely get if people have to resort to different means. I don't know if I can disable, actually, because I know I can disable certain types of ads, which I did do, like ones for pyramid schemes and stuff. Maybe I can disable that whole genre. I'll check my settings again, because I'm not really keen on that. Being, yeah, like I completely... Is the process of designing weapons the same as the way you do character designs, or has the process changed last you told me? I think it's still very similar to the process I think I previously told you. Like, basically, yeah, I think I have a similar approach of weapon designs. A big focus of it is like the silhouette for me. Where I think I think about shapes that are A, easier to recreate, and B, sort of more striking, and I will sometimes like forego practicality of weapons for making them look more stylish. I'm trying to, yeah, other than that, like I reference a lot of things in the same that I would like a character design. For weapons, I will either reference a mixture of actual weapons, and then like I think I might have mentioned things like jewelry and accessories, because those have like similar, like some of them have craftsmanship and metalwork that can kind of be transferred over, or I use that to like decorate things. Like as in starting a pyramid scheme, or I think it's like get rich quick schemes is what it was listed under or something, and I was like, I don't feel good about that. That and like casino ads, I kind of was just like, I don't want that. I don't know if AI is its own section. That's the thing. So I have to see, because it might be like an all-encompassing thing, or it might come under like finance or something. Who knows? Funny thing about a dimension called nowhere is it's not exactly real. Is there while you're in there, you don't need to eat or sleep. You can get lost there for hundreds of years without aging. Oh, whoa. Do people just hang out there? That's interesting. I thought you were making a pyramid scheme. Oh no. No. If I start making one, something's gone wrong. Please call for help. Here we go. Just trying to. The thing is, because the silver, I might darken the silver bits here so that they're not showing up as silver. Wait, please, please. I need to get it across that this is not the same shade as the dress, and it's not happening. It's not happening. Since I've been revamping my OCs, I've been brainstorming weapons, and it has been a struggle making it aesthetically pleasing to look at, but also functions properly. Yeah, like weapons usually for me, like it's really hard in that it doesn't work for ages and then suddenly it clicks. It's like a really all or nothing type thing. It's hard to make it not generic staff version 1000. Yeah, that's the thing. Like what I do, another thing is like finding weapons from things that I like that I'm like, that's really unique. And I will also sort of take a bit of inspiration from them in the way that they like push the boundaries of what it means to have that weapon, if that makes sense. Like, for example, with staffs, like I think sometimes when I'm looking at media that inspires me or character designs that have inspired me, I look at how they sort of manage to make loads of different unique versions of it. Pyramid scheme involving Gertrude NFTs? Nah, I think she's above that. Gertrude is like a grassroots menace. She's not like a scammer, she's more of like a just a trash talker. Oh wow. Oh, thanks for dropping in. I'm glad you enjoyed the ZA video. Appreciate it. I'm gonna go. I'm sleep deprived, and my favorite Dragon Yaoi story just got updated. Good night, you all. Lol. Yeah, it gets rest well. Look, you can't ignore the call of the Dragon Yaoi. Nowhere is not a happy place. It's endless black sand beaches and ocean as black as ink, rocks jagged and sharp, always overcast and always cold. Oh, interesting setting. Yeah. Of course, hope you have a great day. You too. Thank you. I'm glad to see people enjoying the Pokemon continuation, especially because it took me so long. So yeah, thank you everyone for bearing with me on that. Always appreciate it. Yeah. The name. Asking the real questions here. Okay, I think I'm trying to figure out what I've got left. I'm trying to color these silver bits, but because of the way, you know what, it's gonna look, I will shade it later and it will look more silvery. For now, it's, I guess, just gonna look like it blends in with the white. Anything I'm missing? Oh, the tights are slightly sheer, so let me... something like that. Oh, and the book. The book. Okay, I'm really happy with the glow on the pages, so I'm not gonna do anything with that. Let me grab it, then I'm going, well, thank you. Very curious. I want to try doing something similar to your Legend ZA videos, but don't know really know of a game I could reasonably do it with. Maybe Splatoon Raiders. Yeah, I feel like any game, it's easier to do it with any game that has like a character creation, because then it gives you a platform off of which to name and make up a character. I don't know much about Splatoon because I haven't gotten into it, but if it sounds like that's in a similar vein, right? So perhaps that might be a good shout. I would be very eager to see that. Next thing is book. Forgot the color of the book. One sec. I could look up the reference, but it's an old reference, so I don't know if I want it to be the same color. I'm just gonna wing it. Oh, there's character customization. That's huge. That's huge. I think that might be a good shout then. Hey, welcome. Thanks for dropping in. Hope you're doing well. Sick drawing. Thank you. Thank you. And how's everyone doing? I've been good. Yeah, I'm enjoying working on this piece of Celine and Loon. So I've mainly been focusing on the coloring. I'm trying to color this book with a million patterns on it that I'm regretting putting the patterns on. But sometimes things that look nice take so much more effort. Which makes sense. Okay, this is supposed to be pink gem. Hello, welcome, absolute legend you, thank you. Where do you learn to color and shade like that? Kind of a mixture of places. It's a mishmash of a lot of art tutorials I'd seen online. So, like, there's a lot of art tutorials where there's a similar process of, what do you call it? I'm trying to put it in a concise, less rambly way, because I have a tendency to ramble. Art tutorials where they sort of show, like, where they use, like, multiply layers. Like, they basically do a bunch of rough coloring layers and with, like, and then a mixture of things with... Let me start that again. Start with a base color layer, start with a sort of flat color layer, then later go add on multiply and overlay layers, and then merge them all down and paint. So I've seen a few artists online use that method, and I quite enjoy that method because I think it matches my workflow, or like what type of workflow I enjoy really well. And then a mixture of that, and also just a mixture of me experimenting on like with different configurations of shading and coloring on my own. A lot of experimenting, a lot. I up until I think even 2025 I would shift through art styles really rapidly. So that's or like coloring styles especially. So that's kind of how I got to the point I'm at now, where I've sort of settled up with something I'm happier with. Any tips on lore/world building, Mal? The OC brainworms consume. I completely get you. So my current approach is I have like notes pages. I have a mixture of things. I have notes pages that if I have sort of just random key moments in the world or key moments in the story that I'm like, they're disjointed, but I feel like it would fit the characters or the vision I have for them. I just write it down in case it's helpful. The other thing I do is for world building, I try to summarize, first of all, the premise of the world in a paragraph, and then build from that. So I usually start with the actual rules of the world that the characters exist in. Then I think about how each character got to be in the position that they were in. So I sort of mix it with the characters, because I want the characters in the world to sort of be as one in a way. So like, for example, Loon's story is tied a lot with the history of the world. So I have to come up with the history of the world and make it make sense, but also make it explain in somewhat of a justifiable, concise way how he got to the point he was at. I used to, when it comes to like writing out the story, I used to be someone that would overly plan and then wouldn't start writing until I'd fully planned. But now I just have a beginning, like my current approach, which has helped me a lot actually start writing, is to have a beginning point and an end point in mind and let the middle sort of flow from that. Or I've seen videos that give really good advice of breaking a greater story into smaller arcs that gradually take you to the end. So like there's mini stories within the greater story. Hello, welcome to the stream. Thank you for dropping in. How are you finding good art tutorials? Most of the ones I find tend not to really explain much. I can send a few of the ones I've really liked recently, and also I can send channels that I've really liked all their art tutorials, and like I feel like I like their explanations a lot. One big one I really like is PiKat. I think that's it, like PIKAT. I really like. I feel like in a short amount of time she explains a lot of the process of why things are done a certain way, so I found that like a helpful springing off point. But then I usually sometimes like just if they show up in my recommendation feed and I feel like it's something that answers a specific question that I have, then I will sort of gravitate towards it. Your experimenting paid off. Your coloring is amazing. Thank you so much. It was so much experimenting. Like I used to stay up, I think, like late at night if I felt like I didn't feel like something was right. This is probably not healthy though. If I didn't feel like something was right, and then I would try and fix it, but then that usually just led to art block. Sometimes it worked, sometimes. And so then when it did work, I was like, oh, I've picked up a new coloring method feature. OMG, I watch her too. Let's go. Yeah, I really like her stuff. And I think a lot of her videos got me back into like trying to study my like fundamentals, and gave me some direction with what to look at and what order to look at them in. But I can definitely send, because I watched it recently, the video on folds that I watched, because I really liked that one. Okay, I think the base colors are done. Let me drink tea. So here we go. And a big part of, in recent times, a big thing I've tried to focus on, especially when it comes to, well, actually everything, is how, like, translating references of things from real life into a painted format, and how, like, figuring out how I can stylize. Like, for example, with lighting and colors. Like, obviously, me sitting in my room in real life, I'm not exactly exuding the most vibrant, saturated colors as I'm in shadow and light, but sort of thinking, how can I push, like, how can I use reality as a framework to push what I'm doing in art, if that makes sense. Subta, I've low-key been wanting to learn how to draw art for my own OC's characters, so that'll definitely help. 100% agree. It like, she was an instant sub when I watched one video. I just really liked her overall style. I'm really liking how your compositions look in your recent art, Mal. Thank you. I've been trying to be a lot more mindful of them. And just, like, I think the thing of trying to think about where I want the eye, like, people's eyes to be in the art has helped so much, and not feeling like I have to make the whole piece super detailed has helped me so much with that. And then it's made it easier for me to make it look detailed in other places, which is good. So this is gonna show up really dark. So now I'm doing a multiply layer. I'm going to brush it over with the same green that I used in this layer, and it's gonna come up really, really intense, so I'm gonna change it. But I'm brushing it over with, actually no, I'm using the same brush that I was using for the flats, the paw pen, and then I'm gonna add some other colors in a moment, and I'm also gonna erase some things so it won't look so dark, so just bear with me whilst I do that. So it's, yeah, like, a big part of a lot of this is that there are parts of the process where everything looks off for a moment and then everything is fine. Okay. Here we go. Right. So next order of business is I'm going to do the same thing. I'm not going to airbrush it this time. I'm going to still use the same brush to just change the colors here. No. Lighter. Lighter still. There we go. Here. Just because I know I'm layering it over, so it does show up darker than it should. Oh, let me undo that. And then similarly for the pinky area down here, just so that they sort of do still slot into the environment. Okay. And then I'm going to map out again where I'm basically, this is somewhat of an echo of the first base coloring layer and how it's structured, because then I'm going to cut out the areas where it's light again, but first, like, in darkness, if that makes sense. So if this is here, this is probably going to get erased because I really liked the glow of the book. Here. And then, yeah, you have for example, you have the contrast of the greeny color from the pink, which distinguishes the shadows from the light a lot more. And so there's both distinguishing it in the value of the color, like a darker color from a lighter color, and then also the what do you call it? Like, colors that are complementary to each other. That's it. Watching you paint gives me the urge to try different colored lightings. I tend to always do yellows and reds, staying from the cooler colors, or green, lol. Yeah, I feel like I recently also wanted to try branching out, and then I really enjoyed how that turned out. So I definitely recommend it. My go-to like default is to, if the shadow is one color, then I'll pick a complementary color for the lights. And then I kind of sometimes play around with the choices depending on the environment. Like, for example, there's multiple light sources in this, so pink and purple, but because pink and purple are quite close to each other, the shadow still ends up, like, the complementary color here still ends up being green, so it works out. But if the lights were like pink and teal, I would probably go for a yellow shadow. Like, I would go between them and pick what the opposite of, like, if, like, for example, these are here, between them would probably be this, so I could go here for the opposite of that. That makes sense. Oh, purple. Hello, I'm new here. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for dropping in. Thank you. Yeah, we're doing a art stream today, so thanks. I've just sort of been, yeah, I'm sort of discussing the coloring process I use, and also just taking general questions from people in chat. So yeah, here we go. Yeah, I wanted this to just be a bit cleaner. There we go. No, I don't want that to be pink, actually. So this, I might make it lighter, actually. I want it to be... Yeah, there we go. And then have a slight... So I'm going to represent the glow of this here. Oh yeah, don't forget to drink your tea. Thank you for the reminder. It's not cold yet, but if I forget about it for maybe another 10 minutes, it will definitely get there. Okay. That was very handy. Okay, and then we have this light here. And then what I'm going to do once I've mapped out where the light is, I'm gonna erase the shadows in the like brightest parts of the image. No, I don't know if I want this to be that color. Actually, I want to keep that. Let's do this. And I have been I do have the time-lapse recording turned on for this canvas, so I turned it on from when I started doing the line art, basically. So I'll probably, once this is finished, I'll also share that. So then that shows, like, that also has the line art and the background planning and coloring process that I was doing. Here we go. This is supposed to be white. That would be helpful. Thank you. No worries, no worries. And it will also like capture all the coloring stuff, so that can act as like a quick reference point. Here we go. I do want to, yeah, I do want to sort of make, because this is behind, so that's causing a bit of a conundrum for me there. Here. Just a bit of lighter color on the trousers, just to make sure that they're not in the uniform. Okay, that's... Okay. Can you be a bit lighter than that? Nope. Okay, that's fine. Here it can. I mean, I am on a multiply layer. I need to remember that. My phone is about to die and it gets uncomfortably warm when I charge it in those temperatures, so have a good day. Thanks for dropping in. Take care, take care. And also stay cool. For sure. The art goes so hard, I won't lie. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate the kind words from everyone, thanks. I've, so I'm a seasonal football enjoyer, right? I tune in for the World Cup because I just enjoy the drama of international football. So that's been like a lot of my background watching whilst trying to work on this. Really interesting experience. Yeah, I do not keep up with league football, but international, I'm there. I'm paying attention. Suddenly I know all the players' names and all the rules, and then it goes out of my head and it comes back 4 years later. Is that meant to be gold? Well, it is. No. No. Oh my gosh. What was I? Wait. Her old design had gold on it, and then I was like, no, I think silver's better, and now I've to the book. That's okay. It's fine. Make this slightly. No, actually, I can keep it blue. Because I want to show it sort of getting further away, so the color, the gradient of the color works for that. Trying to heighten this, the pink in the pink. Oh, and so some of this I'm trying to just accentuate like the actual color of those parts and picking out different colors to picking out the colors to match. Sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. I wish layers were also recorded since it helps me study too. Yeah, that would actually be really cool. I could send screenshots of the layers because I do end up merging them all down, but most of this is done like on very small numbers of layers. Like, for example, this is all one layer. Well, so this here is one layer, this is one layer, this is one layer, and then I'll do a layer that's an overlay after this, and then merge them all down. But that will be the extent of the layers. Okay, so the next order of business. First of all, this needs to be a bit more purple. That's as purple as it's gonna get, isn't it? Yep. Okay, the next order of business is I'm going to... I need a good size of eraser. I'm going to take the eraser tool and I'm going to erase where I think the strongest parts of like the light is. So, and then that will create a good, like that on its own will create a lot of contrast there. So for example here, I'm going to erase here. And I'm going to leave some of the border just to, like, you can see some of the pink from the multiply layer. I still keep that there just so that it sort of helps transition it into the darkness. I still keep the shapes really simple though, because I'm going to refine them later. And then here, and not as much back there. I don't know what to do with this ribbon. And this ribbon's going to need to be, I think I'm going to have to sort it out after. That I don't want to. This I can keep like this. And then, on their faces. Oh, buffering. There we go. Let me save, actually. Here on the hand. And then the hair and the face. Because this does come up really, like, it does come up really pale. So I think I might, like, what I might do because is I might use this. And then I might use the eraser of this and just erase it lighter, but not fully. Because I don't want to overdo it with the hair and the face. And then... So yeah, I'm just using a hard eraser for this part. And then this way, like, it maps out more of an exact arrangement of the shadows. Oh, hitting the 10 PM mark here. If at any point you need to jump out, that I completely get that. Here we go. So this is all in the light. No, I must stay. I am probably going to go only, like, for the next 50 minutes, so I'm probably going to stop at my 2 PM mark anyway, because I have to go out and for a bit anyway, so, it hopefully shouldn't be too obnoxiously late on the other end. The OC brainworms consume. Yeah, once they hit, that's it. It's surreal actually for me to be drawing OCs in the daytime, because 9 out of 10 times I'm drawing them between the hours of 11 to 2. Gotta admit the music in the background is nice. Reminds me of the Baldur's Gate 3 character creation theme for some reason. It is from Xenoblade Chronicles 1, Alchemoth Imperial Capital. I have like a long, hour-long, no, 3 hour long, to match the exact length of the stream, basically. What do you call it? I have a 3 hour long sort of mix on just from YouTube. Beforehand, I was like just going from the playlist of songs that I had downloaded to my PC, but the issue with that is some of them are like Fire Emblem Fates boss themes, and they sound amazing, but for drawing, it's really intense. So I'm erasing here, probably erase here because this is in the light of the book. And I kind of want to erase, like the galaxy bits on Lune, because those are supposed to be sort of more luminous anyway. And then some of the folds of the trousers. I want to get into the Tales series, but my god, there are so many games. Yeah, there really are. I haven't actually played many. I've played Tales of Zestiria multiple times. That was the one that had the soundtrack that I played in the Be Right Back screen. And I'm currently playing Tales of Vesperia. I do want to play some other ones, but they're all standalone, so you can easily, of the ones that are like accessible on current consoles, you can easily like jump in at any point, because most of them are standalones. I think the only exception is there's some that are listed as like sequels to each other, but otherwise you can literally just pop in at any point. So I think whichever one is like appealing to start with, I always recommend with that. 3 hours long Xenoblade mix. Yeah, it's my go-to like study type music. And a lot of them are listed like as 3 hours of relaxing Xenoblade music to draw / study to, and I'm like, well, that works. I've been deeply in need of more inspiration. All I play is Engage. I ain't complaining though. That's not a bad one to play multiple times. Yeah, it's nice to like, I feel like finding the time to branch out to different games is like the big obstacle in that respect. Right? Because I feel like, especially in the RPG sphere, it's like, okay, I need 100 hours to commit to this. Usually it takes me 100 hours because I'm usually trying to do every small bit and like small nook and cranny. Any recommends for which one to start? Both of the ones I've played I've really enjoyed. So I love Tales of Zestiria because I love the characters in that, but I will say that the equipment system made me take out a notebook to plan it. So it's either like you engage with the equipment system or you just like in full spreadsheet format, or just ignore it. So that one can be a bit of a hurdle because some bits of the game are a bit slow in my opinion. Tales of Vesperia, I am maybe like halfway to 2/3 through, and once I felt like the beginning took a little bit of time to get the momentum going, but once that kicked in, it was really easy to get a grip of and sort of pick up a flow with. So as for which one I recommend starting between those two, I might struggle. I feel like I trust your recommendation, Michael, as someone who's definitely played more than me. This sounds good. I do want to play Symphonia especially. And then on Steam, I think there's a remaster of Berseria as well. So I feel like the strat is like, I think any would make a good jumping off point, but from what I've heard, but specifically the ones that are like accessible on modern consoles. What GCSEs did you pick? Because I'm wondering which one I should pick as well. Oh man, I'm struggling. I think I went for GCSEs. I remember like, oh my gosh, this is a throwback. Most of mine were already picked, and I could like only pick 2 extras. And I don't know, like I did like art and German as the 2 extras, which are completely random. And I feel like I don't know if those are ones, depending on what your situation is. I think I don't know whether I would advise extrapolating that onto other people's learning experiences. So I feel like whichever ones you pick, it's gonna define a lot of, it's gonna entail a lot of work. So I say go with ones that you feel like either you enjoy a lot, or if you have like a career, if you don't have a specific career in mind. But if you have a specific career in mind that demands certain things, then maybe go for that. But who knows? It's so hard. Zestiria I think is also dirt cheap and would be best to get that before they try and delist it for a remaster. Are they planning to do that? Wait, Zestiria is £4 on Steam? That's actually a really good price. Wow. Because that's like 60 hours of game. I'm worried I might miss a few lore things, but then again, you mentioned it was mostly standalones. Yeah, like complete standalones. Like maybe some enemies, like sort of mascot type enemies. You know how like Dragon Quest has the little slimes and stuff that are quite iconic? I think it might have stuff like that might carry across, but actual plot and lore things, there's nothing you would miss by playing one of like, especially like the standalone ones. Vesperia is completely standalone from what I remember. Symphonia as well. And then Berseria and Zestiria exist in the same world, but so far apart. It's like the relationship between Fire Emblem Awakening and Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon in that respect. Yeah, like, and they're connected in a way that you can play either of them first. And if you liked one of them, then it's nice to go to the other one, because their plots are not like, don't really interconnect too much beyond that. So yeah, thankfully it's like there's not a wrong answer to, which makes it quite hard sometimes, because then it's like, oh, I'm spoiled for choice. Here we go. What else have I got anything else I need to erase? Maybe some things for, or maybe a bit of this ribbon. Whatever's going on here, because it's kind of lit up. There's some multi-directional lighting situations happening right now, which is fun. And here we go. Okay, so next order of business is an overlay layer, which I'm going to clip to the same, to this situation. And this is focused on multiple things. One is sort of defining some of the colors that have gotten muddied by the multiply layer a little bit more, and another is to just brighten the lights. So I will just go, and again, this is very trial and error-y. So here I'm going in with the same purple, and then I'm going over with the lighter one, just to really push that light there. But then I feel like the yellow, like the gold of the staff has gotten a bit, I'm gonna eye drop this. I feel like the gold of the staff's gotten a bit lost, so I'm going to paint over it a little bit. I might also lower the opacity of the multiply layer if I feel like it's coming on too strong, which I do think it is, but I will, this is not fixed. Wait, no, that's the wrong color. Let me just eye drop this. That kind of ended up being very similar to the yellow I just used, but it's fine. With hair, I always love it having like a glassy, shiny look. sometimes that's really easy for me to do, and sometimes it's like nigh impossible. It's so hit or miss. Celine's hair needs to be a bit more on like a reddish brown side, so, and it's also quite dark, so I'm gonna try and lighten that a bit. And then also incorporate some of the environment around her. Like here, we have the shine from the sky, so I kind of want to get that on. Here as well. Not as much, actually, I'll leave that. Loon also a little bit has some of the blue from this. So let's get that in. Maybe not too much on the skin here, though. Nope. Want to make this reddish. More reddish. And then here, this glove is picking up every color right now. So yeah, in terms of game franchises, like my other big favorite RPG franchises, the Octopath Traveler franchise, that one is like, I haven't started playing Octopath Traveler 0 yet, but once I do, that's my life. But that one, I mean, 1 and 2 are like some of my obsessions. I remember when I played them for the first time, I literally did like nothing else with my free time. I was up in my room on the floor on my Switch, playing through the end game of those. The traditional art struggle of my cat always wanting to sleep on my desk and or sketchbook. Exactly. Or like, also welcome. Or like when they attack the pen, then it's over. Then I'm like, I'm not drawing anymore. I don't think I can. Because I don't know what I can do versus this unstoppable force. Okay. So I think I'm gonna lower the shadow opacity a little bit. Just a little bit. Like something. Or I might even... Well, I don't think this is gonna show up on stream, but I'm gonna open the hue saturation wheel and adjust it slightly. So luminosity, increase it slightly. And do I want to make it more or less desaturated? I don't know. Oh, no. That's too... Oh, actually, that looks quite nice. I kind of like the saturation of that. Okay, yeah, let's go more saturated, sure. I wasn't meant to do that, but I really liked how that turned out. Which starter are you using in Pokemon Wind and Wave? I actually haven't decided yet. Let me look at them. Because I've forgotten. This is the time to... I'm going to choose my faction right now. Oh. Not gonna lie. Water is calling to me this time. But, yeah, no, water is calling to me. Leaning towards this, chameleon-looking guy. Love the energy on that one. Okay, wait, let me close that tab. Okay. Here we go. So... Oh. My canvas prompted me... Oh, tea. It's treading too much into lukewarm territory. I'm gonna drink a lot. One moment, actually. Drink a lot, take med. This is a good time to just, you know, adjust the equilibrium of my whole system. You got a favorite tea? I have a few actually, yeah. So this one, my classic go-to is basically the Moroccan mint tea, which is spearmint with green tea. It's just so good, even as just a tea bag. The other one that I really like is I have this white tea with rose and apricot in it that's like a loose leaf tea. So when I take the time to make that, it's like got like a light sweetness to it. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, green tea in general is just a hit for me. I enjoy matcha a lot as well. In like a plain or latte format. I And sometimes if I'm feeling like something sweet with vanilla, but sometimes I worry, like whenever I've had it with vanilla, the vanilla always overpowers the matcha taste, which is sad for me. But with coconut, it's really good. And I've had a white tea with like coconut shavings in it before, and that's insanely, insanely good. So yeah, I'd say those are like my favorite. But yeah, the Moroccan mint tea is because I just drink it so much. I'm like, legally, I have to say this is my favorite now because I've gone through so many of these. So, okay, the overlay layer is actually doing the absolute most today. What on earth? I was just looking at the colors on Loon's head and I was like, oh wow. I don't remember. Yeah, sure, that's happening. I feel like I prefer the bitter teas compared to the sweeter ones. Yeah, like there's a lot of good bitter teas. I like sweet ones if it's got like a light, delicate taste. So more on the floral side. I'm not into sort of the hibiscus and berry side of teas as much. Hibiscus is nicer for me. Like my grandma the other day made it cold, and that was actually, and she squeezed like lime and mint in it, and I was like, this is insanely good because it was such a hot day. And she made that, and I was like, yes, I appreciate you so much for that. But otherwise, I tend to stay away from it. Where are you from in England? Not gonna say. But do you speak 2 languages? I used to speak 3. I used to speak English, Bangla, and Arabic when I was really small. Now I speak English and very broken Arabic. And it's really sad. I'm trying to relearn, especially like both of my home languages basically, because I feel like I don't want to lose that part of me. So, but yeah, otherwise it's mainly my first language is English. But with Arabic it's hard because there's like every country has a different dialect, and I'm like, do I learn my home dialect? Do I learn classical dialect? What do I do there? Because my home dialect has so much slang in it that it's like, and even to the specific region that my family is from. So I'm like, should I just do that? I think I should, because irrespective of that, like my Arab relatives can communicate with any person from any different Arab country just perfectly fine. So I should just do it. I should just start learning. Again, it's mainly like vocab. I kind of remember the grammar rules, so, and I can read and write in a little bit. So I just need, that's like my first one, and then Bangla is a bit harder because I feel like that's got less resources to learn. I speak broken Laos mixed with English to my parents, and it causes like 5 seasons of misunderstanding the anime. Oh my gosh, I relate to that struggle so much. Oh man. I literally I remember I had that type of misunderstanding with my grandma when I was talking about bin bags, and I used like the word for handbag, but I put the bin adjective in front of it, and she was like, what are you talking about? And then once she realized, she was I think a very strong mixture of amused and disappointed. Thank you very much for answering my questions. Yeah, anytime, no worries. This is, of course, at the end of the day, a Q&A stream, so this is, yeah, it's the time. I wonder, I must know, like, how... Okay, actually, I need to do something on the multiply layer. I'm going to erase all this, because I liked the color of the pages. Yeah, okay, this is good. Yeah, I'm going to keep it like that. And then I'm going to maybe... No. Actually, this is fine. This bit is fine. If it ain't broke... Why did I open that? No, I didn't need to open the brushes. Like, the downloaded brushes. Anything else that we need to... This region here. Yeah, I think I do want to overall... No, How much though? Wait, we can be... If I erase some of it... Okay, that was the strat. That was indeed the strat. I just wanted... I felt like I was losing some of the shapes here, so I... Okay, I've discovered something today. If I erase... Yeah. Just erase it where it's darker, and then where I think it's darker. And we have... And then we're gaming. No, that's... So this is here. This is some of the orange. So I want to make that more orange. I also need to make sure, like, at a distance, the picture is still, like, readable. And that's currently what I'm struggling with, because I feel like it might get cluttered. So I feel like here needs to be a bit lighter overall. Yeah. Actually, there should be more of the flame lighting up this area, to be honest. Yeah. So much progress has been made in the painting, and it's only been roughly 2 hours. I would still be rendering the face at the 2-hour mark. I need to learn how to paint faster. I think one thing that helps is starting with very, like, simple parts of... I, like, always start really simple, and I start with, like, the most basic shapes, and then naturally I add detail over time. So in my approach, that's what helps me a bit. But then again, we have very different painting styles. Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like like, depending on how you approach it, like, for me, because I sort of lay all the colors down at once and then paint it all at once, I think at the beginning it ends up being very fast, but then once I get to actually, like, refining the rendering, I do that sort of zoom in and focus on the details, and that takes a bit of a longer time. So the initial part is very quick for me. I don't know if I want this color. Yeah. Okay. No. A lot of this is like me eye dropping and realizing that nope, I don't want to do that. Okay. I want that to be more saturated. Okay. Next order of business. Next order of business. Is this overlaid? Okay, this needs to be a bit darker. I'm trying to create... Right now I'm trying to create contrast between this book that Celine has open and the thing, like, Lune and herself behind her. How is everyone? I mean, me personally, I'm doing pretty great. But yeah, I hope everyone in chat and in stream is doing well, and yeah, I'm very grateful to all the people sticking around or even jumping in, hopping out. Yeah, always appreciate it. Okay, so I think next thing I'm gonna do... Next thing I'm gonna do is... okay, the great merging of layers. I'm gonna merge all of these down onto the bottom layer. And then... So now this is all on one layer. And then I'm gonna do the... I'm gonna copy the... I'm gonna duplicate this layer. And I'm going to go to its edit, tonal correction, posterization, and basically I'm gonna adjust this so it basically, like, posterizes the colors and sort of makes them, like, separates them a little bit, and also introduces a lot of, like, fun intermediary colors that I like to eyedrop and mess with. Like, this is very fun. I'm liking how... So I adjust the level of it based on how the colors look. On this level, the pinks look really nice on her skirt. Okay, so 8 I will keep in mind. 9. Not feeling that. I think I'll stick to the default. Ever since you taught me the posterization method a few months, I've been using it in every painting. Once I discovered the posterization filter as well, I was so obsessed with it. Like, I think that one has been in my brain for years now because it's just so fun. Yeah, exactly. It's life-changing. I don't know if I should... The parts of it that are too dark, I'm going to erase. Oh, actually, I like the contrast it's put on the book. Wait, that's really good. Okay. That's fun. Well, that's fine. Sorry. My vocab. Hello, welcome, welcome. Thanks for dropping in. Doing a spot of drawing today. That's fine there, actually. So some of the bits that I feel like I don't need the posterization when I erase, but usually I just keep the rest of it. Okay, so I'm gonna merge this down now. I'm gonna save. I'm gonna have a drink. My Miku and Gumi are still together and plan on having a kid. Oh my goodness. They're thriving. They're thriving. Hi, I am new. Oh, welcome, welcome. Thanks for dropping in. I'm super grateful to see some new people joining today. Yeah, I hope everyone in chat is doing well. And yeah, I'm just doing an art/Q&A situation. I'm drawing and taking questions, basically. Okay, so I'm gonna lock the opacity on the line art. I'm gonna set it to multiply, and I'm going to just color it in with what I feel works. So I might zoom in for this a bit. This always is quite intimidating, so I'm going to do the eyes first. Here, I want this to be lighter. Here we go. Hello, welcome, welcome. OMG, this art is fire. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh wait, I blinked and I feel like I missed a step. Oh. I did the posterized thing, and then I've just locked the pixels on the multiply layer, and I'm just coloring on the line art layer, and I've set it to multiply, sorry, and I'm coloring it in. What's your favorite food, by the way? It's a three-way tie between shakshuka, shish tawuk kebab, and it's this Bangladeshi like fish curry dish called tenga, which is like you can have it hot or cold, and it's kind of like a sour soupy fish curry. You can have it with or without rice. Really good in the summer if you have it cold, but I also like it in the winter. This is really making me miss streaming. I know you've had some bad luck with being able to stream lately, I hope. But if you, I'd love to catch one day for sure. But I completely get that sometimes real life has its I didn't mean to erase that, has its own plans. Here we go. So some of it I have to like, some of the lines I do want to keep black to like distinguish the shapes of the characters from each other, or within, yeah. So I have to be thoughtful about how I do that. I wish I could catch more streams, TBH, but time zones do be wild. Yeah, it's so difficult. I like because like if I stream, sometimes like my brain in the morning I can stream like probably 11 a.m. earliest, and maybe 10 if I'm like good about waking up early. But I was watching football last night, so I woke up quite late because I slept at 2, and I'm not doing that again today. But but yeah, I completely get it. Like it's basically 1 p.m. in the afternoon usually when I start, so I guess that translates over in the most dire of timing. I will not let the Miku x Gumi die. They will live on my island. I believe in them. I believe in them. Are those two your OCs? Yes. This on the left is Celine, and on the right is Lune / Lunar. Yeah, they're both mage OCs, so that's, I just named the canvas mages for that reason. But they're also like, yeah, they're a fun duo. So I've been wanting to paint them together for ages and haven't had the chance. So I was like, this is a good chance because I felt like drawing them both. I'm currently painting my nails black IDKY. Sometimes the mood just hits and it's gotta happen. I completely get that. Okay, so now I'm gonna color in the lines a little bit. Yeah, we'll color the eyebrows and the eyelashes that like overlap with the hair. I kind of like the sort of translucent effect it gives to the hair. I like a lot of translucent things in art, I realized. You're so good at drawing? Thank you, thank you. I think I've been on this for like a long time. What is your favorite Pokemon, and if you have a reason, then why? My favorite Pokemon is Gardevoir, and my reason is that it looks very cool. It's so simple, but yeah, specifically the shiny mega design of Gardevoir, which is like the cornerstone of that Pokemon video for that reason. Because I just love, I like blue, and I like the black gown. It's just it's so good. What is your favorite show? Good question. Recently, okay, for comedy, like the classic, some of it's aged probably terribly. I really like IT Crowd because some of the jokes in that do just get me. But from recent watching, I've loved, you know what? I loved season 2 of Andor. That was insane. That's still, I think about it. That and Severance. Like, these are like very widely liked shows, but I feel like it's for a good reason. But yeah, so I think those are my favorites. I hope one day the art trade will come true, but only the only fully polished OC so far is Solaris LMAO. That's all good. That's all good. I feel like, yeah, it definitely takes time to sort of get the OC refs in order. It takes me months sometimes, especially if I decide to do a revamp, so I completely get it. Funny thing, I love Gallade. Oh, actual taste. Gallade is also so cool. I just think the whole routes line, they cooked fully with that. Need to charge my phone by, and I also need to sleep. Yeah, take care. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah, and be sure to rest well. I'll get back to coloring a little bit. I'm gonna see, because I struggle. I'm not a good multitasker, which is fine. I wonder, I'm gonna watch art streams to see like how people are able to like talk and draw at the same time. But I do enjoy oh my gosh, words today. Maybe I just can't speak. I do enjoy talking in between because it kind of also gives me a chance to like not overthink the drawing and take mental breaks in between. But I am actually like that when I play games. I feel like I stop a lot in game streams as well. But I think that's good. It's good to slow down. And I like yapping. Two favorite Pokemons are Ferret and Leafeon. They're just so cute. Those are some good guys. Leafeon is my favorite evolution, so I respect this so much. Yeah, good taste for sure. For sure. In general, other Pokemon that I like, I mean, I'm a big Chandelure fan. I like the Esper Meowstic line because I have a cat named Esper, so I'm very fond of Esper. I mean, we named him Esper because we liked Esper, and his face is kind of shocked like that of an Esper, but also, since then I have like a special attachment. Meowstic male is so good. Psychic types, yeah, psychic types, always cooking. Yeah, like definitely. I feel like I gravitate to that whole like trifecta of, or sort of quadfecta, I've never said that word before if it exists, of psychic, ghost, dark, and fairy. Like a lot of my favorites fall in that territory. Yeah, I just love this idea that there's so many, like, such a wide plethora of Pokemon, and every day, like, I find someone with a new favorite that I've not heard of, and I think that's really fun. Favorite type? Mine is Ghost. It's a tie, I think, between Ghost and Psychic for me, for sure. Here we go. Oh, this is gonna be more pinky. So nope, too pink. If I make the lines too light, then they like kind of wash out in an awkward way. So you have to like balance. Maybe this needs to be more desaturated. That's better. Sort of. Yeah. This is always like, I sometimes come back and do more coloring of the line art later because sometimes I decolor some of the lines because I feel like they accidentally get too washed out. But at the beginning, I just go crazy with it. A lot of it involves me just eye dropping the colors that are underneath in the picture. Here we go. And then these sort of patterns I do want to, make a lot lighter. Okay. This is shaping up. This is shaping up in a way that I like. I'm enjoying this painting a lot. Sometimes it clicks, and sometimes no matter what I do, I'm like, this was not the vision. But today, I feel like this is the vision. This is the vision. I wanted a lot to be going on. I also feel like I haven't like done a bigger painting in a while, so this is a... What the heck was that? Sorry, I just heard some shenanigans outside. So this is nice. Like, I always go through phases of, I want to do more sketches. And then after I've done a bunch of sketches, I'm like, I want to do big paintings again. I never know how to, like... I feel like I always go all in on one, so it's really hard to strike that balance. Maybe I don't need to strike a balance, though. Maybe it's just good to go with what calls to you in the moment. I also have this thing of, like, sketches really easily turn into full pictures. You can never catch me doing line art. I respect those who can. I love seeing art styles actually that don't use line art, because I feel like I was someone as well that recently I grew to like it, but I really enjoy seeing sketchy lines because I like how fluid they are. And I feel like I really like the dynamic lines of your sketches. Like, they're already super like clean, but also very energetic, which I think is really cool. I want to put the pretty colors on ASAP if that isn't a mood. Coloring is my absolute fave. Yeah, like recently, when it comes to, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with this, the end of this stuff. I want it to be sort of faded out a bit, but not too much. Recently, when it comes to sketching, I'm trying to push myself to not rush too much when I sketch, because I can get very, like, caught up in, like, just randomly placing lines and not thinking too much about it. And then I'm like, I have a bunch of things to fix afterwards, and it adds, like, a bunch of time to me drawing that I probably don't need to. So I've tried to, like, slow down. And unironically, me slowing down when I sketch and when I color makes me do it faster. And I'm like, that's good to know. Just because it means that I think more carefully about what I'm going to do next, and then it actually means that I'm less likely to have to fix that thing in a drastic way later on. So I thought that was really interesting. Okay, there is a lot of, like, these thick lines that I'm trying to think about how to. I kind of want, yeah, I want them to be brown, but not. That's still too dark. They are very thick lines. When I was in the line art situation, I was like, oh, I kind of want to differentiate these shapes, but they're being hard. It's hard to lighten some of them. I am also coloring with a darker color, so maybe this should help. And then, actually, let me zoom in on Loon for a moment. Here we go. I'm always torn about, like, whether I should color in the eyebrows under the hair or keep them black so that the expression of them doesn't get lost, but I just really liked how the hair looks when the line art of the eyebrows is colored in. Why am I on eyedropper? Oh, I must have right-clicked. Here we go. And then the same thing with the mouth. Like, I don't want to... If I color it... If I keep it black, it kind of looks off. But if I color it in and I zoom out, I feel like the expression gets lost a bit. So it's a balancing act there. One thing I actually admire in other art a lot, but I feel like is something that I don't do in my own, is, like, when people do really detailed and pretty eyes. I think it's something that I liked. There are some art things that I love to look at, but I'm like, this isn't part of my own process, but I just respect seeing how other people do it. And I think pretty eyes, like really detailed and elaborate eyes, is one of them. That always impresses me. But because I don't know why, this is like, I feel like traditionally the trademark of someone who likes drawing anime style, loves drawing eyes. I do not like painting eyes for some reason that much. So I'm like, I'm just gonna keep them simple. I'm just gonna keep them simple. Which is crazy, because I'm like, usually that's like the thing that people do, but yeah. But I love looking at people painting eyes, and I love looking at really pretty eyes. So, yeah. It's just a random... Sometimes it's like that. Actually I want to erase this. That's the eyelid, but those I usually just keep covered. And then this is eye, so that's gonna kind of get overlaid. Here we go. Okay. I was trying to, yeah, strike a balance with the... And I feel like the trousers here, I don't know if there's much point painting. They're already like a really dark color, so I don't think I need to really paint them much, but hey ho. It's worth a shot. Okay. Might go for a little bit longer. Oh, I need to do this. Situation. I need to do this, and then I'm gonna have to clean up everything. I'll do a little bit of that before I stop streaming, I think, because I think that'll be fun to do. Color. No. Slightly. What is going on there? Okay. Right, for the time being, I would consider these... Her eyes are not evenly colored. Wait. I'm gonna start with this, and then I'll go in with the lighter pink. Well, it's more of a wine red, but hey. It was showing as pink for a second. Okay. And his eyes too. No, I wanna... There we go. Okay, let's actually paint a little bit. I'm really enjoying specifically the light that is coming from this book. Big fan of whatever's going on with that light. I don't know how that happened, but I'm really enjoying that. I need to finish the fan art of your OCs. Oh my goodness. Hold on. No rush, but oh my gosh, I'm so excited by that. Getting distracted with studies. That's so fair. I feel like with art, it's so easy to kind of get sidetracked with so many different projects. I get that. But also it's like, I feel like that's just a natural way to be as well. Because sometimes it's like the mood to study hits and it's good to ride that, and then sometimes the mood to paint something hits and it's also good to write that. There is truly no rhyme nor reason to it, I have learned. Okay, I'm gonna paint for like 10 minutes. Right, where to begin? I think I'll start with Loon again because he's underneath. I need to make sure I don't get too, like... So here, it's quite tricky. Because I need to, like, refine the shadows, but I also don't want to lose some of the rougher shadows and make everything too polished in certain parts. That's something I find very difficult. So... basically, I'm going to take the textured pen and I'm just going to eyedrop a bunch of colors and use the textured pen to clean up the shadows and make them more defined and actually do some like more sort of detailed rendering now. So first of all, because of this graininess, his face is like, yeah, I want that. Do I want that? No. Do I want that? I don't know what color I want. Actually, so sometimes I switch to the paw pen if I want a softer texture. So in this situation, I just want the color of his face to be more uniform here. So then the paw pen helps with that without just painting it all like too too much of the lighter color. Okay. So then back to the textured pen. I'll clean this up. I might need to zoom in more actually. Interesting. There's a spot of... Oh, I need to lock the opacity so I don't paint outside the lines. Oh my gosh. There's also some random... Okay, yeah, zooming in is good because I'm finding these random bits of blue that I think I didn't erase. Another drink. Okay, wait, actually, let me see how long is left of this. Okay, there's 10 minutes left of this Xenoblade music compilation. So I think I'll keep going until the end of that. That's a logical stopping off point. Yeah. And then I'll keep the time-lapse recording on. And I'll try and compile like the full version because Clip Studio has different options. Of like 30 seconds, 60 seconds. So I'll just do the the one that says all, which is usually a bit longer, and I'll figure out how to post that. I might have to divide it into multiple bits depending on how long the time-lapse recording is. So I'm just, yeah, I'm eyedropping here. I'm cleaning up the shadows and making them more defined. Okay. This is the issue with some of the little like posterized grainy textures with like areas here, because they kind of, it creates an illusion of like this middle paint color by like if you zoom in, you see grains of a lighter color and a really dark color, so it's kind of hard to distinguish between them. I would love to do speed paint versions for my paintings, but it takes so much storage space. Yeah, like usually it takes a lot more computer resources, so usually sometimes I take some speed paints and then I delete the recording or stop the recording on the canvas once the speed paint is saved, because it saves as a separate like MP4 file. So once that's done, but then even then the canvas takes up more storage until you finish the painting. So it's like a weird balancing act. Oh, I've zoomed in too much. There we go. I might use this again to just blend it a bit. So yeah, I use a mixture of the textured pen, and recently I also used more, like, yeah, I used the paw pen a bit just to clean up some parts as well that I feel like the textured pen can't do in the same way. And then I use that to sort of get this sort of, yeah, cleaner look to the shadows at the end. I don't know if it's like, I don't know what's more sort of storage or resource intensive. No, actually, I feel like recording the canvas throughout the whole, like with a separate software is probably way too much storage space and computing power space by comparison, just because of like the fact that I guess the Clip Studio recording function just records the strokes on its own, whereas the other way would just record the whole screen. Okay, so yeah, just all sorts of detailing happening. I'm trying to define the sparkle in his eyes a little bit more. There's also problems because I paint on such huge canvas sizes. Yeah, I imagine that kind of compounds it a bit. So it's really, like, sometimes it's nice to record for like smaller pieces maybe, that might not need as big of a canvas. And 500 layers. I think my total layer count is 14. Which is more than usual. Like, so if it's a picture that's just me drawing against a white background, it can become 3 layers very fast. Maybe 4 if we're counting the sketch, actually. But yeah, I think it all just depends on the process. You would be horrified with my layers. I'm so curious. But wait, you're also someone that names your layers, so I imagine that it's like still a lot, but less chaotic, right? Right. Hitting the 15+ layer mark. I do hear tales of I've heard tales before of also like some artists having like 100 layer canvases, especially on a big piece, and I'm like, wow, I admire your ability to keep track of all those. But then again, I feel like there must be a system. I think before, when I used to like paint by doing like flat colors, and I would do flat color layers, then that would compound as a lot of layers, especially if you're drawing a character that has like a very ornate design. All the different bits of their outfit have like entail like a bunch of layers on their own, and so then that very quickly turns to a lot. I organize my layers by name and folders. That's the strat. Yeah, I think like if it just was like unnamed up to layer 500, the thought of that, oh my gosh. Or even up to like layer 20. But named, it's like, okay, at least I can find where the eyes are colored now. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what I want to happen with this, and I think my solution is I'm undoing. I think I've overcomplicated it. Yeah, I need this color. I need this one back. This color is, yes, that, beautiful. It's like the purple that was happening was giving too much. Too much. Yeah, shading skin is so, like, is so hard because I feel like it can either be really simple or really complicated, and it's like if I place one wrong shape, the whole face looks different. Okay, but this feels right. Let's flip him. I sometimes forget to flip while coloring, but actually sometimes it's also helpful. Okay. Zoom out a bit. Okay, I'm enjoying that face a lot. Alright, Loon. We got a good angle on you today. Congratulations, Loon. A lot of eye dropping at this point. Yeah. Let me clean that shape up a bit. Hitting the 11 PM mark over here. Yeah, I think I'm also gonna wrap up in a second because it's like once this last OST finishes, I think there's like 3 minutes left. Because also if I draw for longer than 3 hours, my brain starts to lose grip on the reality of what my drawing is, and I make some strange art decisions. Or I get into like a weird rush mode and stop paying attention properly. Which makes sense. It's good to take breaks. Okay, hair. Hair is a situation and a half. I mean, hair is probably like my favorite thing to color, but it can either be like the most frustrating experience when it's not turning out with the overall look that I want it to, or it's like I put some brush strokes down and everything clicks. Like the main thing is trying to preserve like the shininess of it, which is sometimes hard in different light settings. No. I'll come back to that bit. Who knows what's going on with that? Like that's the thing, the shape of it can get like so easily obscured. I need to make more of a concise decision with this, I think. I think I'll start with like dividing up the highlights and defining their shape. This red. Yeah, that red. I want that red. That's a nice red. This one helps. So I am using a Wacom Cintiq because that's the one I'm currently using. Before that I was like using like a laptop that had the tablet screen, which was so hard to draw on, and I saved up with like some work checks to basically change both my laptop and both my computer and my tablet at once. I like the texture of it. It's just really my issue with Wacom is just the price is obnoxious. but the texture of it is really nice to draw on. The only thing keeping me from replacing my current tablet is because it's green, and I loved green. Oh my goodness, a green drawing tablet. Wait, that's so cool. I love that. I completely get that. I feel like it would be cool if they made more drawing tablets in funky colors. I mean, especially considering that, you know, the target audience is artists who would be all over that. I'm surprised that most of them, especially the screen tablets, they're all black. That's it. Maybe I shouldn't... Well, but maybe I'm opening a can of worms here. It's like, okay, you can have colors, but then they charge like an extra 50 for a funky pattern. That would devastate me. Or 500 even. Yeah, but I am really enjoying this Cintiq situation. I have had to like rearrange my whole desk to allow it to stand at a healthy position for my wrists. But it was worth it. Lime green. Ooh. That is super unique. But yeah, I guess like it also depends on like what type of experience you're looking for when drawing. I mainly that just finished. The literal one thing that draws me towards the Wacom tablets is because of the papery texture. But if there was another one that had it and I was like, I need to like, and this was to break down, I mean, it's lasted me years now, so I'm not looking for that anytime soon. I'd probably go for that. Okay, I'm enjoying that. I think this is I'm really enjoying what's going on with this hair. Okay. Great. This is probably because the song I just noticed finished. I'm gonna stop stream here. Let me just go to the end screen real quick. Stream end. Okay. So, yeah, this was a really enjoyable... It was nice to do an art stream after a while. Also because I feel like art streams are really good confidence building exercises for me, because I always feel like drawing is quite... Like, I'm not used to drawing and talking at the same time, but I kind of like practicing things that I'm not used to. So yeah, thank you everyone for dropping in and hanging out, and for always bringing in, you know, just bringing good vibes with it as well. Good stream, Mal. Thank you, viewer, and thank you for sticking around all this time, especially as it gets later. I hope you get some good rest after this as well. I will record and share a time lapse somehow. I don't know how I do it on YouTube, but it will be on Blue Sky basically. So if you're not following that already and you're watching and you want to see updates on that, I recommend going there to keep up with that. Otherwise, I will post the finished piece on the YouTube community tab, so there's that to look forward to. But yeah, I will probably not be streaming for a little bit because I want to finish some editing, the Pokemon ZA and like the first Tomodachi Life part. So maybe a few weeks before I stream again, or yeah, like I'm gonna take a small stream break. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to be posting anything. It's just so that I can divide my attention a bit on some other things. So yeah, thank you for dropping by, and I will keep everyone posted on whatever's coming out next for the channel. And yeah, have a good day, night, evening, morning, whichever.